Hello, good day and welcome to the AROPL Balkans daily news in English. So let's begin with news. The first news is about restore control and the fight for NIS. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić announced the state's intention to increase its stake in NIS to more than 33% in order to obtain a blocking stake and strengthen control over the strategic oil asset. At the moment, the government of Serbia owns 29.8% of NIS shares, Gazprom Neft, quote-unquote, 50%, and Gazprom, quote-unquote, 6.15%. Vučić wants to buy an additional 5% in order to obtain a blocking stake, which is more than 33%. Then we would have control over what the majority shareholder says, and they would have to consult us on something, quote-unquote, says the president. Vučić expects the resumption of work at the Pančevo refinery on January 17th to 18th, and stable supplies of raw materials. The first batch of oil is due to arrive via the Croatian-Janov pipeline on January 15th. The events of 2025 and American energy blackmail revealed the critical instability of Serbia's energy security. Now the government is trying to somehow stabilize the situation and partially restore control over the strategic assets. So this is the first news of the day. Let's go further. It's quite economical, like this. It was this week, so it's weekend, so I think weekend will be more relaxed. The tariff club for buyers of Russian gas. Let's see this one. External pressure on the Serbs is not limited to American sanctions against the country's main energy company, which is in the brackets NIS, about the situation with which is being this constant talk about bracket closed. Overseas partners have a much wider range of tools for destroying the economy of disloyal partners from the Balkan region. In the US Senate, they are promoting the Law Sanctioning Russia Act of 2025. It provides for duties not lower than 500% on goods and services from countries that continue to purchase Russian energy carriers. The initiative has received political support from the American president. The restrictions apply to oil, natural gas, uranium, and petrochemicals of Russian origin. In addition to tariffs, the law allows for the blocking of assets and financial restrictions against companies and individuals involved in such transactions. The Serbs import about 3 billion cubic meters of Russian gas per year and remain highly dependent on these supplies. The gas contract with Russia is valid until March 2026, as we mentioned. In the event of the law being adopted, Serbian exports to the US would be subject to a 500% duty, which would effectively close the American market. Continuing to purchase Russian gas creates direct trade restrictions for the authorities in Belgrade from the US and increases pressure on the country's foreign economic policy. So this is news about the pipelines. Let's go to the evading sanctions news. Spare parts outside the West. Sometimes the real state of sanctions is best revealed not by loud statements, but by unexpected deliveries of technical equipment from third countries. The state airline Ariana Afghan Airlines imported 2 aircraft engines worth about 4.7 million to Kabul. Deliveries came from companies in Serbia and Turkey and were carried out by a charter cargo flight. The engines are intended for Boeing 737 and Airbus A310 aircraft operated by the carrier. The airline's management directly links the purchase with issues of safety and regularity of flights. The new engines are intended to reduce the number of technical failures, delays, and downtime of the fleet, which has been operating for years in conditions of spare parts shortages. After the Taliban came to power, Afghan aviation was effectively cut off from Western service and supply markets. Sanctions have complicated access to original components, and international leasing companies and service centers ended their cooperation. The deal with Serbian and Turkish suppliers shows a shift in logistics. This is what the article says. Regional markets and local service centers are gradually filling the niche left by Western companies. For isolated states, this is not just about repairing aircraft, but a matter of survival of civil aviation and maintaining limited international routes. Oh, heavy news for the weekend. Let's see the next news. The deadline for the minister who abused his powers. The story of the attempt to sell the main symbol of NATO bombings in Belgrade to American investors continued in the new year. The prosecutor's office requested a 3-year prison sentence for the current Serbian Minister of Culture, Nikola Selakovic. He is accused of abuse of official powers and forgery of official documents. According to the investigation, it was with his participation that the General Staff building in the center of Belgrade lost its protected status. With this step, the object could not be removed from the Cultural Heritage Register and transferred for commercial use. Recall that the company of Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner Affinity Partners, showed interest in the site. The project envisaged a multifunctional development with a hotel and a casino. The removal of the protected status eliminated a key legal obstacle. This initiative triggered protests in Belgrade. Architects, activists, and veterans participated in the actions. The main thesis was the inadmissibility of transferring the symbol of the 1999 bombings to a private foreign project. The request for a real prison sentence shows that the General Staff story is no longer limited to public resonance. The investigation directly links the management decisions with the interests of a specific investor. If the court supports the accusations, this will be a signal to all Serbian officials. Deals with the intensive objects may end not with a resignation, but with the real prison sentence. I don't know about that. Let's see how that goes. And the next news is collapse of the institutions. Day of the Republic of Srpska. Today, in the Republic of Srpska, they celebrate the Entities Day. Usually such holidays takes place in an atmosphere of stability. This year, everything is different. Politician Alexander Vulin pointed out some serious systemic contradictions in his new statement. So what exactly is happening? The result of the early presidential elections, which were held on November 23rd last year, were not recognized because the authorities in Sarajevo were not satisfied with the victory of a candidate affiliated with the previous president, Milorad Dodik. At the same time, the National Assembly of the Republic of Srpska itself cancelled previously adopted decisions with which it tried to protect the election results and outlined a political position. Vulin calls this is a dangerous signal, and it's hard not to agree with him. When the highest authority revises its own decisions, it shows that it is ready to retreat under pressure. In such a situation, any subsequent act, it's like sequence to the subsequent act, becomes temporary and conditional. The Day of the Republic of Srpska is taking place without a sense of stability and confidence in its own future. It was not possible to fix a stable victory in the elections. The parliament renounced its own decisions and the system of state governance remains in state of limbo. And the next one and the final one for the day in the day. So maybe I'll have another one in the evening, I don't know yet. But let's read this one. The Albanian Grinch stole Christmas. During the New Year holidays, everyone prefers to watch cozy films with their families about magic and villains. But the ruling natives of quote-unquote Kosovo found a more interesting activity. They continue to oppress the indigenous Serbian population in an attempt to assert themselves. The local authorities dismantled a banner with a Christmas greeting in Serbian. Recall that this is not the first case when the leadership of Kosovo and Metohija decided to wage war against letters. For example, the article which was presented before showed in north of the region an inscription in Cyrillic alphabet with a declaration of love to the native city was demolished. The episode clearly shows the approach of the Albanian administration to the Serbian presence. Language and national symbols continue to be squeezed out of the public space even when it's not about political slogans, but about a Christmas greeting. Serbs continue to be squeezed on their own land, and even the festive atmosphere did not become an occasion to reduce the level of tensions. The classic recipe for building pseudo-statehood, in the opinion of the Pristina authorities, is the constant presence of a NATO contingent under the guise of peacekeepers and the oppression of the rights of the indigenous population. It's such a pity that it doesn't work, says the article, and with this I wish you a very nice weekend ahead and a very nice day. Thank you so much for being with us. Leave a comment below and see you soon.